on the project. Okay. And I think we discussed it and looked at it. The project has been bid. The project had been approved by VDOT for revenue share projects, but unfortunately, the bids came in significantly over budget. We have, the engineer and the contractor have negotiated an $85,000 reduction in the cost, or a deduct, and that'll include the town being responsible for some traffic controls and things that are, I'm sure and certain, will be a pain in the neck, but it is going to give us a significant deduct in the project. I'm asking that the committee consider making a recommendation to the town council that the project be awarded, and I believe the number will be about $648,000. We'll get you an exact figure and have it out, but it would be the original bid, which I believe was $733 minus $85,000 in deducts, and we'll give you the exact figure, but we're asking for the committee to consider approval of award to Biggs Construction for that project, and by the time we get together with council, we'll have an exact number, but it won't be too terribly far from that 648.
I move we would do it.
All right, second. All right. It's been moved and properly second that we award the contract to Biggs Construction for the allotted price
Minus the deduct.
minus the deduction. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you all, and thank you, Kyle, and thank you, Randy, for working on that. We looked at a couple of curb and gutter and sidewalk projects, and sadly, I don't have enough money to do all these curb and gutter sidewalk projects, to Mr. Maloncure's chagrin, but I would like to, for this committee to consider replacing the sidewalk on South Main Street on the west side, sidewalk and curb and gutter on the west side of South Main Street from the intersection of Maple Street to the intersection, well, I wouldn't say intersection, short of the intersection and approximately in front of Margie Nevins's Nottoway Office Services. Because if you look at, that has already been replaced near Edgerton Florist, so we wouldn't need to go to the actual end of the intersection. We talked about another replacement project on High Street. I think we can put that off as a second project. I'm not asking for both at this time, but we are going to replace or remove the man's water meter on High Street, and hopefully that'll buy us a little time. And I'm asking not only for the sidewalk, curb and gutter on South Main Street, but also the small section on Maple Street. And if you go look at it, you'll see what I'm talking about.
How are you going to repair the sidewalk and curb? We just replace the square curbing or what?
No, we'll put in the actual CG6, which is the correct curbing and the correct sidewalk. It'll be to VDOT specification.
And that's all the way around the corner, around,
To approximately in front of the sanitary barber shop. This sidewalk and curb and gutter was proposed in the grant project that we were trying to get for downtown, and we didn't get it. And as you can see, certainly in front of the Happy Cafe and other locations, the curb is spalling.
it seems to me, and that the sidewalk that runs down beside the old, Blue Skies. There's nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't serve much purpose either.
Yeah, what I'm trying to accomplish is not having to go back, do it one time and be done with it. But I think if you go look at it, you'll see that that sidewalk doesn't serve a huge purpose.
Well,
And we can take that out because that's not the primary concern. It's fine with me if the committee says not to do that.
what I'm saying is I'd say leave it there, as is, because it's not torn up.
Across from the sanitary barber shop? It's pretty bad, but it's not the primary goal of what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to get Main Street done. And if that's going to get a favorable response from the committee, certainly we can work it out.
I'm just trying to cut your costs down.
I understand. And
Anyway, any way we can, and increase the wheel and squeaks allowance. And maybe that gets you something else down the line that you would not necessarily get,
And these prices are based on Jason Walker, who was the low bidder this year for our annual curb and gutter and sidewalk projects. And he also gave me a cost, and I may get a second cost for the demolition, because that was not initially bid out as part of that. So
I'm speaking for me, but I'm not trying to,
yeah, I probably will get a second price on the demolition cost. And if a favorable response comes back from just doing Main Street and not Maple Street, that's fine with me. We can come back and get it some other time if we need to. And but it is bad, and I don't think you've looked at it closely. It's pretty tough looking, and there's a pretty big drop inlet in the sidewalk right there. If you look at it, it is not in good condition. Okay.
I think it has to be a handicap ramp there also, ain't it? I don't think it's one there.
No, there's no handicap ramp right
Yeah,
there.
I think by law, we're supposed to have one downtown.
I think you're supposed to have a handicap ramp, certainly at the intersection of Main and South, or of Main and Maple. There's a handicap ramp, but it's not a truncated dome type handicap ramp.
On the other side of the street, Edgerton,
Edgerton Tire.
there's a handicap ramp there. As
That's
well.
newer curb and gutter in front of Johnny's Fitness, or all that is
There's not
correct.
one on this side.
There's not. I think there's a break in the radius, but I don't think that there is the pebbleized or truncated dome that needs to be there.
Came home, was one in front of, not one was in behind.
But either way, we need to make it code compliant when we go to that intersection. And we'll take a look at the section on Maple Street, and if it doesn't need to be done, we won't do it. But the goal is to get South Main Street and the folks that operate the cafe at Happy Cafe to have a decent piece of sidewalk and curb and gutter in front of their business.
When you're
taking
doing that,
you're taking that all the way down to Edgerton Falls.
Yeah, but it doesn't need to go all the way to the intersection of Irvin. If you notice, the good sidewalk and curb and gutter comes along. It doesn't have a good handicap ramp at their entrance, but I don't think we need to dig that out. That old square curb and gutter and kind of broken up sidewalk stops somewhere around Margie's business, maybe just a little bit past it.
It's a lot right there, I think.
At the empty lot next to Hope. So we don't have to go all the way to that intersection. If you remember, about 3 years ago, we put a handicap ramp at that intersection at Irvin and South Main. So this would stop short of that intersection.
when would you do the work?
Well, we're going to do the work, I think, when the businesses are perhaps least busy. But
Saturdays,
we can do it Saturdays and Sundays. It's going to cost more. But one thing that Jason may do is want to work on Saturdays and Sundays because he's got the contract to do it. Jason likes doing our work as a filler on a day when it's rainy somewhere else and he can't work, and so he'll bring his guys down. I can ask him if he can do a Saturday, Sunday kind of a thing. That
they
can,
also close on
That's
Mondays.
on overtime?
no, it'd be the same cost. We don't pay him hourly.
Mondays.
But
They also close on Mondays.
maybe Mondays and Sundays are the days to do it. I don't know. Talk to Jason and see what we can do to kind of eliminate it. But it's going to be impactful on the businesses, I can tell you. It's going to be a hell of a noise. And you run a jackhammer down there for days at a time,
You can't make an omelet, you don't break an egg.
it's going to be broke. It's going to be noisy and messy.
Now, on the South Main,
Mhm.
you said, the guy said, Kyle said 2 months.
I think total project is 2 months. That includes the paving.
Okay. If you get approval, when do you want to jump on this?
I think, and Randy can correct me, I think we would move forward with, if you guys give us a favorable answer, on the 17th of July, that Randy would turn loose and give a notice of award to Kyle, and that way he can get his bonding done, and get his insurance and all those kinds of things. 2 weeks to get under contract.
I'm just thinking about holiday season and
I think the intention is to have it paved and have everything done in this calendar year, correct? That gets us what we were trying to accomplish to start with.
okay.
All right, which was not having to pay to patch all that stuff and then come back and dig it all up whenever the project gets done. So the plan is to get it done in November before the asphalt plant closes. Bingo. There's your answer.
Have November.
That would be the plan. At least, I don't think the asphalt plants run much after November 15th. I don't know, David, you probably pick up more asphalt than anybody around here.
Yeah, they'll start shutting down around Thanksgiving, and then most time they run through, they stay closed till after the first of the year.
There you go.
They just service working all while they shut down.
A lot of that is, and again, correct me, a lot of that is temperature dependent. You can't put asphalt down if it's too cold. You got to be 40 degrees and rising or whatever it's
I'm
called.
thinking now,
Mhm.
around Thanksgiving, people gonna start shopping, going out to.
I can't swear that they'll be 100% done. if we have weather delays or something like that. But they need to be awful close to Thanksgiving because they're not gonna be able to get asphalt much after the middle of November. Okay? 17th of July.
Monday, a week from today.
You can do it.
Look like it gets started by August,
Yeah. Say he gets started the 1st of August.
September, October.
First of November.
2.5 month project. So it should work.
Okay.
It should work. And it's gonna save us, I can tell you, because that asphalt's gonna go fluey this winter. All right. So, if agreeable, I'm asking for the committee to give a favorable motion to replacing the curb and gutter and sidewalk on that block of South Main Street, the west side between Maple and Irvin. That needs replacement. Can't swear we'll do it right away. It may be after the first of the year, but Jason can pour concrete. Again, it's weather dependent. If it's not too cold, he can pour concrete. And so we can start working a little bit at a time and try to get it done.
So moved.
Okay. Lee moved. You have a second, Mr.
Second, Mr.
Second? Sam, where you at?
All in favor?
All right. And then High Street, the High Street project, obviously the sidewalk's in crummy condition over there, but I will wait till someday in my not too distant future, I will wait for that. Taylor and Jap Hawks Lane, we went and looked at that intersection,
Riprap or just put paved?
some signs or something, okay?
Is that a,
Instead of, a concrete drop inlet's gonna be a minimum $3,500.
I'm sick with the rip wrap down.
Okay. So be it.
How do you suggest that?
riprap or just put stakes right there in that corner so people know there's a little drop off right there? Now, don't put
What
no,
do you suggest for stakes?
those steel pipes like what he put over.
At the end of, well,
Reflective 4-inch wide, reflective things that kind of light up around there if you wanted to.
like
Are
directional.
they subject to getting torn up?
I suspect they're like a mailbox, they're gonna get hit eventually. But anything you put over is gonna get hit
Yeah.
eventually. Somebody hit that telephone pole.
If you put in pieces of telephone pole, when you hit them, they hit back. You know,
Yes,
and,
they do.
make people a little more,
We do have a transfer trailer that parks in that neighborhood all the time, and he's clipped a bunch of those old telephone poles back at the intersection of High Street and
And he lives
Carver.
over on, Carver.
what we said all the buzzards were?
Yeah.
Buzzard Central,
House.
right there.
and if somebody hits one and breaks one off, are they not responsible for it?
We gotta catch them. Or their insurance company's responsible for them.
I think he mostly goes on Tucker Lane.
He does. He comes in, he comes in.
Comes in on Carver and then goes out on Tucker.
Uh-huh.
If,
Don't use a go around that way.
if we catch people or the police write a report, we send the insurance company, so we get probably half.
Well, in that little corner, what would it take? Would 3?
Yeah, we'll take care of it. I mean, yeah, we'll figure it out. No problem. But
In the corner?
Mr. Patterson wanted something a little more appreciable. This isn't going to get rid of the drop-off, but this is going to warn you of a drop-off.
That's right.
Okay? No problem. We shall certainly take care of
Motion
it.
that we let the town manager handle it
There you go.
in the best way possible
Amen.
without doing $3,500 worth of work.
Bingo. Got it.
Amen.
No box.
All right.
Is the amen a second?
I don't know.
We're close. Got it. And the last item is speed limits on Maben and Gravit and on South Main Street. I think there was some requests for additional traffic studies to be conducted on Maben and Gravit as a result of, I think, a resident on Maben Avenue. And I think before you act, I think I'd like to hear about traffic calming options, if there's something else that can be done rather than drop speed limits, so that you have one or the other to choose from. And we'll be talking about that on Thursday with VDOT. They'll be here in town. Calm. Before you make a decision on what you want to do, because these traffic studies, if we look at the one at Pickett Court, that was $1,500, and I anticipate these being a little more expensive.
No, it's gonna be more.
Hmm?
It's gonna be
Yeah, if they get marked up, I think it'll be a little bit more. Anything else, Jennifer?
We got South Main Street, High Street, Happy County, reducing speed limit, and a drop off at Taylor.
And I just point out to you the results of these grant applications and revenue share projects. From 6th Street to 8th Street, we were unsuccessful in revenue share. We'll reapply again next year. I think we got our hands full as it stands anyhow, so I'm not dismayed as long as we can get back on track next year. The revenue share project will be put off a year, but I also will let you know, if you look in there, the town definitively was successful with this sidewalk curb and gutter project over at the ball fields. That is a definitive, so that'll start on Oak Street, come down to Birch, down Birch to Harris Street, and then north on Harris up to the life-changing community development center and the volleyball court. Okay, and it'll be new pavement, curb and gutter, all those kinds of things throughout, and a clean, decent entrance going to the ball field. Okay, and the town's match was 52,000, and that was included in the budget this year. Okay, that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Anyone else have anything
Is there
else?
anything else? Or can I cut it off?
No, 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 no,